Andy, is that really you? And I don't want to hear sorry from you. You're not sorry. And you're still the same person and you'll never change. And you've already abused Becca. Please leave the kids and I'll let us heal for a while. I have no problem putting out the GPS for you. Or telling the truth. I wish you would listen to my words more. They are not to drag you. Listen. Just listen to me for a minute, please. Give me 5. Can you give me 5 seconds, Andy? And then I want no further contact. I did send messages through other ways to try to keep you safe the other day.
Safe from what, Jody? An innocent man wouldn't need to be kept safe. Hi, Maria. Hey, PM. Sorry, guys, I haven't been on. It's been Christmas and New Year's. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I've had grandbabies a lot the last week or so, 2 weeks. So it's been hard to get on here. But we have a lot to cover, man. I can't even keep up again. There were lives I wanted to cover before this happened that I didn't get a chance to cover. But that's okay. We'll skip around. Okay, so as I was saying, an innocent man wouldn't need somebody to protect him. And you're sending him messages. He reaches back out to you. You're sitting here, you're stating that he's abusing Becca right now. That's where we're at. The only, so far, I have to say, the first minute and 20 seconds in, is I don't understand why an innocent man would need protecting or why there is such a rush to do so. You claim, I'm very confused, and we'll listen to this together and maybe figure it out, but you send him messages, right? But then you say he wrote you and asked you for the GPS. My question would be, why does he need the GPS? Ziggy and Fred just talked to TBI. This seems like such a rush. Is this something you may need for TBI? Did they reach out to Andy? Just a logical question, in my opinion. But let's continue.
Take heed and don't fuck around and give that shit to the tragedy pimps, please. It's important to Summer's case.
Hi, Tic Tac. Thank you. Okay, I understand it's important for Summer's case, but if something's important for Summer's case, why would you send it to Andy and not to TBI so that TBI could question Andy about it? If you're in such fear of him, why would you directly send something to Andy? Like this it does, I have to, even though fuck Ziggy, but I have to agree with Ziggy. This feels funky. Okay. Oh, and I do have this torn up into a ton of different parts. I don't know how far we'll get through. I just have these first 7 parts here for the first time he came on, and then I have a second half. But there's other stuff in this live that I definitely need to cover, such as her damn accusations against me over and over and over. But okay.
It's been a lifetime of it. Decades, Andy. And I want to let you know that Little's doing fine. I wish sometimes I could share many things with you. Little does not want me to. She gets to make that choice like you told her at court the first time.
Okay, well, obviously you and Andy are now messaging each other. So why did that need to be brought to YouTube? Again, you're trying to take precedence over the subject at hand, which is a missing child, your neighbor, Summer Wells. That you're sending information to Andy and not to the TBI to protect him. To protect him from what, Jody?
Maybe one day. Till then, leave her alone. Okay? Don't you listen to me carefully. What you've done is hurt shit with these tragedy attempts. Stand there, destroyed Little and eldest.
All right, Jody. You know what? Pause. This is where I have to say, you will go on to say that Dawn and Candace hunted you. They hunted your mother's post on Facebook. You blame Facebook. Can you quit doing that behind me? Sorry. That they hunted you on Facebook. That they hunted Andy's parents. And you know what? That's a lie. That's a lie, Jody Sue. Let me tell you why. Dawn didn't mention you until he went on to Cher's panel months later, where he said a neighbor heard a scream. He didn't name you. He didn't come after you. You, however, were on Facebook creating lives. You were in the Facebook groups making posts. You were making a spectacle out of your fight with Andy in the Facebook groups. You were fighting with his mother and family members of his. You went to Squall and then True Crime Commentary, like within the first weeks, months of Summer going missing, months and months, maybe even a year before Andy made his presence known in the YouTube world. Yet you sit here and say that you didn't come live and you only came here to hunt tragedy pimps. However, the hunting of the tragedy pimps did not start until after the marathon. You also go on in this to say, oh, we hired fake FBIs and all this other stuff. However, I didn't bring that to YouTube. I investigated it, which is why these people have a problem with me. And you say some interesting things about Linda and ex-girlfriends, and like you're throwing hints to Andy, like you really, in my opinion, seem very high anxiety and a bit psycho.
I will always speak about the domestic violence and what you've done to us to help others, not to harm you. I wear the scars. I'll speak to help others. You and I both know the truth of how bad it really was.
Okay, so I agree with Jody. You all know I heard the court appointed person in the background while they were talking about their daughter. I heard a little bit about the abuse through a court appointed person. I think it drove Jody Sue crazy. I think she has lots of trauma from Andy. However, She'll mention in here the first time you hit me when I was 11 years old. Okay, well, the first time he hit you when you were 11, why didn't you run home and tell mommy and stay the fuck away from him? Then you go on to say you're with him for 30 years. Well, if he's hitting you from the time you're 11 and you don't have kids till how old are you? Because your kids are like my kids' age. It was years after you and Andy got together. Like you weren't 11 and then got together. So he was hitting you prior to kids. Why wouldn't you leave that situation as a child? You have stated that you were sold to Andy's family in the past. I will bring them clips up if need be and you deny it. Then you backtracked that, which you seem to do quite often, just like the sedatives that Tiffany is doing some dumb shit about right now, playing the same clip over and over, or was a little earlier. In my opinion, this live that Jody said that did and Andy came in chat, my heart broke for it. Mine don't. And I'm gonna show you why. My heart don't break for her. I also believe Tic Tac that this was a setup. I see subtle threats thrown between the two of them. I see Jody reaching out to her monster that she's scared of to protect him. To be scared of somebody, you wouldn't reach out to them. I watch her cry and then immediately dry her tears. I watched her fake a heart attack. Then her cat jumps on her lap and she is completely fine, and now she wants to get off and go get snacks. Like, there is something, this is a lot of acting, dramatics, in my opinion. I'm not saying that Jody Sue's abuse isn't real and didn't really happen. I believe it happened. I've heard it happen. However, I don't believe that that's why she left Andy. I don't believe she came to YouTube to hunt tragedy pimps. And if she did, that's quite the claim to try to discredit people. She could get in a lot of trouble for that, actually. I've been set up in court settings with her, the one she accuses me of, but somehow they get dropped, the one she's involved in, and then she's in inboxes, and when she gets busted, she's accusing that person of being somebody related to somebody Andy cheated on her with in this live. Like, there's just a whole lot jam-packed I think people didn't catch or quite understand. So we're going to take some time, as much time as I can tonight, to go through it, but this was pretty long, so it'll probably take a while. But I don't feel pity for her. And I mean, I feel pity for her as far as her DV goes, but I don't feel pity about this situation. And it doesn't change my perception of her. If anything, it widens it. Just like the Fred Ziggy stuff when the sister was on 6-Ups. It's the same kind of vibe. Listen to how she starts accusing Fred's sisters of things. And like, it's just not normal thinking, in my opinion. Now, am I a doctor? I don't know what normal thinking is, but this is, to me, seems like, what do they call it when you have the racing thoughts and there's a part on here, she's sitting on here and she's like, oh, everybody's mentally ill, this, that, and the other. And then she jumps up out of her seat because she thinks somebody's in her yard with flashlights. The police go by. She gets on. She starts texting somebody, like taking time out, being all paranoid, looking up like she's looking up at somebody in her house, trying to send somebody a warning. Like, I really want you guys to pay attention to this. I don't have pity for her. She put herself in this situation. She came here. Not only did she go to Squalls, but within like minutes, she was on true crime commentary. So she's the one that brought the fake feds in. She's the one that said that Chase was her support and her family shouldn't worry about them. She trusts the people she's with. She's the one that tried to sell her shirt. I don't believe that Jody Sue has ever had Summer's best interest at heart. That is my opinion. I believe she has overshadowed and overcasted Summer's case, just like I believe she's doing right now as she sits here and says, "Oh, your daughter's fine." That is for private. That has nothing to do with Summer. No one wanted to buy that nasty, smelly shit. Right. And she got angry about it. And that's when the fit throwing about the marathon and the fake FBI and Candace changed her story. It all happened right then and there. Hey, Innocent. Hey, Molly. You guys got to remember that stuff when you're watching this. All right, let's listen for a little bit. I need to go take some Tylenol. I have a bit of a headache. I was breaking this up, but it got Ziggy went live, Tiffany went live, and it just got confusing. So I was like, fuck it, we're just going to go over the little spew of Andy, the Andy part. Okay.
This has been about Summer for me. And trying to find the truth and answers. And you were not in there. Move through, not forward, and you know what you did to me.
I agree, Pam, and let me tell you why. If they're in contact and they're messaging each other, as you just heard her say, I messaged you and you wanted the GPS, that all happened privately. Why do they need to come public and do this? She done already had her opportunity to tell him privately what he needed to be warning of. This is planned, in my opinion. I 100% agree with that. They were in contact, in the chat, in private. They didn't need to do this public. They don't need to air their dirty laundry publicly and take the spotlight for Summer once again, in my opinion.
And left me with where I can't completely move on. Ever. You know what you did. You know. But I am living. I want peace for what remains to me, Andy, with my children. You know, and you knew even during that stuff, I would never harm or hurt them. Do you hear me? You know, and you knew better, and you shouldn't let the other one play in that shit or push and pull you to do fuck shit. Or Jenny and Adrian. Yep.
Who's the other one? She keeps talking about these locals that Andy's involved in that are involved in all kinds of other stuff that's dangerous. That's here on YouTube, some that aren't on YouTube, somebody with a K name who I think I know who they're talking about, and I'll just say it, fucking Kevin, right? Maybe Karen, because of the way she says it, but then she goes on to say Fred's sister, maybe Renfro, but she said she doesn't know Renfro. That would imply that she lied. Right? So she has all these ideas that now Andy's friends are setting Andy up. No, Andy is involved with those friends. If you're thinking Kevin, Jody Sue, and Athie, yeah, Andy is involved with them friends. He came here with Athie. Do you realize that? They came here at the same time. While she was accusing you of shit, he's getting on papers. Nobody's fucking dumb.
And I don't think you realize how dark and dirty and what type of games they're playing. And I know at some point you do, but that's not my point. The messages already prove that I put out. No, you've not, Andy. No, you've not. You know, I see the messages and hear the calls. And hear the things sent in my direction too, or else's and things, right?
So she starts off talking about, I had to cut this. I took a piece out to put somewhere else we'll listen to another day. But she starts off talking about the messages she put out that day. Like she had already had it planned. Jody, and you're going to mention it again. Let me reiterate this to you. Just because you two sent text messages to each other doesn't mean y'all weren't sitting next to each other while the text messages were being sent. It doesn't mean that you didn't plan to send them text messages, because here's the problem with them text messages. You're waking up at 2:30 by a noise. Yet you hear the noise at 4:30, the scream. Do you understand that? Your text messages show that you lie, in my opinion. However, let's carry on.
And you knew when you did certain stuff with this group that it was fake. And you knew that you were letting other people play in shit that shouldn't have been and to make money. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you ever again in my life.
Well, then you need to tell him that privately. This is a mockery and it's embarrassing for your children. They have to grow up and watch this. If one of your fake heart attacks gets you, Jody, they're going to have to watch what you did mentally abusing them, in my opinion. I'm speculating.
It's been about
the rest of
finding
their
the
lives.
truth. And I'll tell you, a lot of weird shit went on in and around the road and with all these others, including Fred, that you weren't much paying attention to or present for. Do you hear me? And there's several other.
Okay, that's the second time you said that. Do you hear me? Are you listening? Listen to me. It's as if you're pushing him a narrative, in my opinion. Yes, airing her dirty laundry, Pam. She is pushing a narrative. Do you hear me? Do you understand? Are you listening? Like she's the one in control.
Others in your family right now playing shit connected to Fred. And
So the family she's talking about is connected to Fred, not the family that is Fred. So she's either talking about Fred's sisters or what? So is this her attempt to go after Fred's sisters? What the fuck is going on here, dude?
others that are connected with your friends.
Friends, I
Shit's
just talked
getting
about that.
real dangerous, real quick. Has been for a while. Fred has people along with this one here.
So what? Andy's going to come protect you and not the TBI. You're going to send Andy that information. You're scared for your life. You're going to get up on social media, snitch on these people that are doing this crazy shit, yet not send it to TBI, right? You're not going to move. You're not going to better the situation. You're not going to go get protections from abuse. You're not going to have the police watch you. However, you're going to get online and make sure that we all know that you once again are being threatened. Okay.
Doing certain things around us right now and planning. You know I ain't crazy. You know what was showing up at work? Starting a year and a half before, and you thought it was me.
a year and a half before Summer went missing, a year and a half before they broke up, somebody was showing up at work. He thought it was Jody Sue. Yeah, like you wouldn't tell somebody was there, but wait, let's listen. Jody Sue was planting something at work. I can tell you what this is about. This is about what did she call it? The stems that he brought home in a big bag he found in a bench at work. Oh, yeah, there's a video on that.
Just posting shit to say something about the K name or dragging you through for drugs or whatever. It wasn't.
Kevin Jody Sue, just say it. The K name, Kevin?
Those things connected. The van full of chicks and shit didn't have anything to do with dragging you. Had to do with this shit. But
So the friends are showing Andy the people in the van, and he needs you to tell him what that was. Is that what you're saying after you talked about it, then said it didn't happen, then said it happened, and then this happened, and then that happened? How many times has that story changed? See, that's the weird shit that makes people suspect Andy, Jody Sue. Just like this whole live and you and Andy's whole little whatever the fuck is going on here. Yeah, to me, I mean, you guys can disagree with me, but this is sus as fuck.
your friends talked you into thinking it was about you. And it wasn't. Just like they've talked you into thinking a great deal many things I say and stuff or whatever. You know, they're not.
So you're saying Andy's dumb and he doesn't have the right to choose from right from wrong. He doesn't know right from wrong, right? His friends were pulling him into something, and it is exactly what the whole internet has thought this whole 3.5 fucking years, right? Girl. Yeah. This didn't do you no favors.
They're twisted and fucked and meant to piss you off and trigger you and do whatever. It's been a real fucked up ride around here.
So they're going to piss him off and trigger him by bringing a van full of women to him. That's going to piss him off and trigger him. Well, then that's some sick shit, and we really do need to be looking into him, Jody. There's the dramatics. Think about
But I
what
need you to
say.
think all the way back. Do you remember the first days when Fred here was coming to our driveway? Do you remember what days those were? And the behavior of him and others?
Yeah, the 16th and 17th. He said he was recording you. He dropped the fucking bauble. You've been talking about it for years. However, wait, let me pause. You also said it wasn't Fred that dropped it and that it was Candace that dropped it after somebody posted pictures of her in the smoke shop buying it. Do you remember that, Jody? So what are you going to do? Switch the story again? Because ever since then, now it's just Fred.
It got weirder and worse, especially after you were out of there. And we were still in there for months.
We'll get to that. Innocent. That's the stuff. We're not going to cover that tonight, but that's the stuff I want to talk about. I'm hoping Karen Renfro will come into my chat when I talk about that too. Since Ziggy says I'm lying. Okay.
The things we heard and seen and went through. Things I heard, seen. And you got to think you were at work or with her, or whatever else.
Yeah, he didn't see what she
For all
seen.
the weeks,
Never home.
right after even summer finished. You weren't in there much. See and hear what we were. Are they?
That's a lie because he sat outside the driveway for 3 days. Remember, even you said that. He was there. Even he said that. He didn't leave. I have a whole couple chats with him in there on my panel, in my chat, talking about it. Actually, that's why he didn't go to Knoxville to ride the damn fucking animal ride that Ziggy's making up over there, right? Because he was home. Another switcheroo.
Even be questioned the way we were, or talked to, or witness the things we were.
So Andy wasn't there to be questioned yet. He helped you find the book bag on Trinity Top Loop. Yins rode through and took videos of the fucking bridge. Andy was there. He wasn't in the car while you were talking to Evelyn. Get the fuck out of here, Jody Sue. He was there. Why wouldn't they question him and only question you? Now that got me a little bit fucking concerned.
There's a reason we're being done the way we are, Andy. And your friends are at the head of it. None of them are what they appear.
I thought he didn't have
But there's something real wrong.
Remember when Jody said he didn't have friends? Nobody liked them?
With certain ones in that road, and I don't know how. And there are certain things I wish I could say to you or give you.
You can.
Keep you and yours safe.
Them.
And all of us. There's certain things I wish I could talk to you about, because I know that between you and I, we can figure them the fuck out in an instant. Together like always.
Like always.
But I can't trust you like that. Because you'll give it to them. And it'll hurt.
The man that beat her up, domestic violenced her, that's why she's here. They worked together always. They always figured it out together.
But there's something wrong in that road. And there has been. I need you to think very hard on the things Fred was saying in those first few days and the interactions that were taking place. The shit at night I was telling you was going on.
Make sure you use that when you talk to the police, Andy. Remember what I said to you.
Busted bubble at the bottom of the driveway.
That was Candace's, right? They posted pictures.
I wish I could tell you all things that link up, but there's some sort of fuck shit. The thing is, I have enough evidence, enough proof to show that you or Fred were always supposed to be built into the guilty looking party, Andy.
So you're
and
saying
it worries me how even Fred's stupid ass is making himself look. I know that there's potential for some of those inside the road to be doing it with some of these critters from the beginning and with the police.
Listen to me. Okay, now Fred and Andy are being set up by everybody in the neighborhood. The YouTube creators, she's going to say there's a YouTube creator that knew Summer prior to Summer go missing that's not living around there. That there was YouTube creators involved in one of Andy's friends' cases. That's interesting.
From the biggest to the littlest tragedy pimps around here. And I'll give you that so that if you want, you can sue the shit out of them. Because I goddamn well plan on.
Jody, you can't sue any of us. Let me tell you why. You went to Squall's channel. You went to True Crime Commentary. You built Chase up. You defended him on your Facebook. You told your family that you was in good hands. I've played it. It's in my lives. And then you get on here and you say you're here to discredit everybody because we're all tragedy pimps and we ruined your life. However, if you would go to the police, the TBI, get protections of abuse, prove it already. You don't need lawyers and cops. If you feel you are in harm, there are people in your driveway, things that have happened on the ground, you would take care of that. You wouldn't get on here and fake cry where your tears dry up in 2 seconds. You look around, you think about what you're going to say, and you bring the dramatics. I don't believe a fucking word you say. Not a damn word. That is my opinion. I'm allowed to it because you know what? You did this publicly. Just like you're over there live now, still doing it publicly. Airing out your dirty laundry. Shit that doesn't belong on YouTube or to Summer. Don't you think you've caused that little girl enough pain?
I want changes in laws made so they can't do this to any others. But they definitely wrote and scripted a story.
No, you did.
And it became to make you look guilty or Fred. Well, those fuck sticks next to
for both of them.
They've all played it. Unfortunately, you have two now. And you're associated with half of them, even if you don't know what the fuck they've really been doing.
Why would he associate with them? He's with them all the time. He follows them from chat to chat. He comes to my chat pretending to be frenzies while he's still over there sucking fucking Smurfette and Papa Smurf sticks. Do you understand that? He's right in there with the ride for him, riding around with Ryan. All the things you're accusing him of, he is doing of a sound mind. He doesn't look like an invalid or somebody who can't think or speak or do for themselves. And he's doing it just as publicly as you fucking are. Do you understand that? He knows exactly what he's doing. He doesn't need you to tell him toxic shit.
That's between you, them, and law enforcement, Andy. I don't trust you. You're up to shit. I don't know what you all are up to. I know
So if you don't trust him, how do you know he's innocent? If you don't trust him, but you're going to trust him. You can't trust him to give him information, but you can trust him to warn him. You know what? That sounds like you trying to cover for somebody who's guilty, in my opinion.
Last few days when you brought in that meth and I told you to fucking take it down there, turn it in.
How many times did Fred's dad bail him out for owing people money for drugs? I mean, he's finding things. You think it's a friend with a K at work, big bags of stims, you call them. Then he's bringing big bags of math home. Yeah, because people just drop that in the parking lot. Remember, he was finding it in the parking lot. No, Jody. He was probably getting it spotted to him or selling it for somebody. Because just like you said, he went to Washington, D.C. And you know what? We thought he went in 2016, 18. The way you talk about it in this live is that he went way more recent than that, right? Which means it was a behavior that was continuing for years and years and years, even after your drug bust with math and stims. I have the videos. I will fucking pull them where you talk about them. I have showed them. They're in my lives. That's why your ass don't like me.
I don't know what all you're up to. I found out a bunch of shit since, obviously. Some shit you were even doing at my name. That's between you, them, law enforcement, and your truth, your soul.
And then she says he
And I
lied.
know you're telling the truth. You didn't hang out with them.
He hangs out with the
I
bad
know you're
guys,
telling the
guys.
truth.
I don't know, innocent.
Not in my presence, and not ever do I ever know. It's like them in the bullshit trying to say that you and Don went to Knoxville trips. That's not true either. No, that's not. And I hold the GPS, Andy, to show that you and Don were never taken off at the same time in the messages between Candace and I for years.
Why would they? Why would they take what? Listen, if you have a group of people that's traveling to another city to pick things up, they're not going to want people to see that it's a weekly thing. So they're going to send other people different weeks to go pick things up. They're not going to go at the same time. But the fact that they both travel to Knoxville quite often is quite concerning. I'm not going to lie about that. However, I don't think he was operating a ride. I think Ziggy lies because I think, dude, y'all know what I think. Watch my past lives. My mind hasn't changed. I think it's a more than one type of situation.
On the difference between your takeoff and Bang Horror's dates and his takeoff and horror dates and your Knoxville dates versus the dates she's messaging me saying he's down there. I got all the proof and evidence. They're all lying. And that makes it easy for you to fucking sue the shit out of these creators
No, it don't.
and hold them responsible.
For what? Him coming public? Talking about his dingling? Remember that song by Adam Sandler? My dingling, my dingling. We should play that for Andy one day.
Don't say the word stop to me again. Not ever. Because I promise you, Andy, you don't ever want to meet me on this side of hell in your life again.
For fuck's sakes.
I may be talking to you now, but I promise you, like you did to the kids, and get rid of my sister and all that shit.
Get rid of my sister.
And there's no forgiveness for that.
There's no forgiveness for what he did to the kids and getting rid of her sister, which is a fucking bold-faced lie. Her son was living with the sister. I have it recorded in her own voice, her telling me that. They never got rid of the sister. She gets on there. Me and my sister was talking. Who's Spiky? The sister was never rid. There's proof that they still speak. Also, nobody fucking acquired anybody. It is not, your sister don't have a case of anything to fuck against me, bitch. Understand that, okay? And let me tell you why. It is not against the law to fucking message somebody. It is not against the law to talk about what you and that person talked about. It is not against the law to prove that I am not outside of your home sending you threats, which is exactly what the fuck I was doing. Do you understand that? Because you said it public. So anytime you or your fucking sister feel froggy, leap, bitch. Understand that. Leap. Nobody acquired your fucking sister or you. You both came here willingly.
What you've done is fucked. And you're directing and targeting. I know what the fuck you've done.
No, you
That
directed
3
it.
decades of your shit too was enough.
Fake ass cord hearings, fake ass feds.
No more unicorn. Stay away from me.
Why don't you stay away from YouTube, bitch?
But I will talk to you like a human being.
Oh, because you can't talk to nobody like a human being.
Here, for now.
Everybody's your prey, right? You're hunting everybody. You expect people to talk to you with respect, bitch? Kiss my big, fat, white fucking ass. How about that?
Because it's, I guess, the right time and moment. I don't know. I will do like I've continued to do for years. And even if you don't know about it, I will keep trying to keep you and you dumb whore and half your family safe while you act stupid with the tragedy pimps while I live boxed.
She's all the way boxed. She can't leave her house. She can't go get the big gulps that she fucking gets. Everybody's in her driveway. She can't go nowhere. She's just got to sit in that fucking dark ass you know what, Roach Motel. I don't fucking know.
And you live free.
If you're boxed, Jody, and you're feeling, I mean, like, fucking go get a job, pay some rent, and move. You're the one that allows yourself to be fucking boxed. Do you understand that? If you're so scared, you could leave Tennessee. If you're so scared and you have all this GPS and SD cards, which, by the way, she accuses Andy in this of taking them amongst the dog. If you're so scared, why are you on here accusing people of doing those things? Like things that should have gone to the TBI, right? Things you hid from the TBI that had Andy come in and steal them. No, he didn't have Andy come in and steal them. Andy made frenzies with your son. They recorded your son, they put it out. I believe that's shitty. I agree, but it's fucking weird for a father to do and a mother to even put her children into situations that you, in my opinion, have put them in. Blasting your public or your private life publicly, right? Like, this is bullshit. Quit trying to make people feel sorry for you because you know it's bullshit. Every single fucking breath is bullshit.
Scarless. What you did to me is fucking terrible.
I got a lot, Jewel Weed. That's why we're all in this position we're in now. Because I didn't stay away like she wanted me to with her court hearings. That now flies on the coleslaw is Linda or whatever. And now they're stalking her while they were in the inbox together messaging. Tiffany Marie brought it out. But wait till you hear what she says
Yeah,
about it.
obviously not.
Which, by the way,
No, habits die hard.
now she's agreeing with everything I said when I was wrong. And no, Athie's just crazy, and this is that, and this is that. I know, cursed. It's so bad, like I don't even want to come live. There are days I sit here and I'm just like flabbergasted. Like there's no point. There's really no point. Nothing's going to be done with this. Nothing. It's just going to continue, and I don't understand why TBI ain't fucking leaping.
But the only reason I protect you, and even fucking Becca, after what you and her have done and gotten up to with this group, especially where it concerns Little and that fuck shit. And you doing shit with Piper and Scott, Penny in it, that eventually lands with Fred, your family, and Ziggy trying to get us all killed. And you doing shit with Piper and Scott, Penny in it.
True crime commentary. Jody, where was you at begging people to sell your shirt and to bring on the marathon? And let's do this because it'll get Summer's name out there. Where did you start? Let's talk about that because I'm pretty sure it was AB, Tiffany Marie, Squall, and Penny and Scott. Yes. Those would be the first lives you were on before I was ever live on anybody's panel or even made a channel. How about them nuts in your mouth, bitch?
That eventually lands with Fred, your family, and Ziggy trying to get us all killed.
Then call the
So thanks
cops.
for that. Right?
Call the
So while
police.
you
What
put
you
us
gonna
in
do?
danger, I've tried to keep your dumb asses safe.
Why?
The reason being is because keeping you safe matters where it concerns Summer's case.
No, it don't.
You're a fucking idiot.
No, Jody Sue. Your family don't matter to Summer unless you did something to her. Do you understand that? You're just a neighbor. You are just a neighbor. If he has information that would lead to the whereabouts of Summer Moon Utah Wells, it should have already been turned in 3.5 years ago. Do you realize Summer's birthday? She has another birthday coming up next month. And do you know what that birthday brings? A new picture. Every 2 years, they bring a new picture out. Do you know that? The ones that you don't share, Jody Sue. We are less than a month away for yet another birthday of that little girl that you won't share her picture. The local, your daughter's traumatized, but you don't even take her to the vigils because you need Chase to keep you safe that day. Remember? Oh, I do.
You've been a fucking idiot. You know, the night you were screaming at me on the phone that you didn't give a, and the children, you didn't give a flying fuck about Summer Wells, but you wanted the money.
The other night, not 3 years ago, he was screaming at her on the phone, but she had to come out and make a public statement. They can't talk on the phone. This has to be done publicly, right? They were just on the phone. So now it's more than messages. The other night, they were actually talking on the phone, not just messaging each other. But they have to get out here and let Ziggy and Fred and the whole world know that they have GPS. That Jody Sue's going to give Andy. How about this, Jody Sue? How about you give it to the fucking internet, you lying bitch? How do you have the GPS? All the SD cards were taken. The phones were taken. You can't find nothing. Everything was stolen. Now all of a sudden the GPS is going to fucking pop up. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking pit bull ass looking fucking bitch, in my opinion.
You were accusing us of being paid, and we weren't taking it down. We weren't making shit. They all lied to your ass, dude, to get you pulled in, to always use you. That was your purpose here, and you didn't see it.
But he stayed with them even after attacking your daughter, setting up fake fucking lawsuits with people that you were involved in. Your sister was involved in my opinion, based off of her interviews, right? Dude, you're such a fucking liar. These tears are fucking fake.
Acquired you to
Look at her face. Look at her acting.
destroy I and your children as witnesses on purpose, Andy.
You were never a witness. Do you understand that? Lawson came out and said that your scream, he didn't see nothing with it. It was unfounded. Lawson never came out and said you were a witness. However, he did say everybody is still a suspect. How about them apples? More nuts in your mouth? Maybe they're squirrel nuts.
Do you understand that?
Shit, it was over. Okay. So that was the 20-minute one. Let's see, because these are all broken up.
I'm sorry, Sarah. What? I'm sorry, Sarah. What? Do you want to tell Sarah how that's not true? Do you think that shit I'm having to read right now from Sarah about me falsely pitting your children against you is bullshit, Andy? Because you and I both know they wouldn't even speak to you at the fucking house if I left there. You know, in court within days of leaving Ben Hill. Days. You chose first, and Little stood up and made her choice. And then you carried on for yours.
It's time.
You
Let's
know
see.
what Sarah there, your champion of douchebaggery, is making me stare at and read is not true. And yet, an abundance of those run around I have to read every day. Oh, and now they want to know if I get child support. And the answer is no, Sarah, I don't. I don't get child support. He's not.
Yeah, no, he hasn't paid child support. He took their stimulus money. All that's true. Andy has admitted to that in my chats. I've heard court appointed officials on the phone with Jody, which was strange. She let me sit on the phone unmuted while she talked to them. It was a court appointed official though, I promise you. But yeah. No, Andy has never paid for shit. He has done nothing for his daughter. The son, he's done a whole lot for. Okay? So when Jody sits here and says, oh, you pitted us, my son, this, that, and the other, it's because the son took the dad's side and the daughter took the mom's side. That's what happened. You both pitted your children against each other. It's disgusting, Jody. You're a family unit. That's how you act. And you know what? And when you go on to say that's Andy's fault because he abused, that's partially your fault because you talk about the abuse in front of your children over and over and over in a car with them. You talk to them about the abuse. You tell your daughter to lie. We've shown that where you're telling your daughter saying, that's not dad. Yes, it is. Where the police are chasing them in a truck. Come on, man. Stop it. You need to stop. You need to stop. This is too much. This has gotten crazy.
Paid any child support ever. But you're gonna get the fuck up out of my room, Sarah.
Well, she can stay in mine,
Goddamn
bitch.
abuse enabler. Apologist. You think it's fun watching me be trolled like that because you've directed it, pushed it in?
Oh, you haven't directed no
You think
patrols.
that helps other women and children out here, Andy?
Fuck out of here.
You and I both know the truth.
Y'all both are shit. Fred too. And Ziggy
Because
the
that's what
psycho.
I intend on using my life for, and that's not new since Summer vanished. It's something I already spoke about before. It was already on social media before. Well, then, community has never been oblivious to you abusing me. Have they, Andy? Not from the first time you ever hit me as a kid. Dinner in Shady View at Hickey Vicky's, remember?
Wait, before we go on, the second part of this, you know what? No, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Jody and them showed up. You know, I mean, seriously. I remember. But it's not about you and I. There's no sorry. There's no apology from you great enough, or one that I ever believe. I wouldn't accept them then, and I'm not accepting them.
Well, then that's why your children are pitted against each other. You don't have to be sorry, but you shouldn't be
I
pitting
loved
your
you with
children against
everything
each other.
in me and tried to make you a better man and a father and a partner, and you failed us at every turn, over and over and over again.
Wait a minute. Then she'll go on to say that he was her ride or die. They were ride or dies, like in the old days.
Hell, you could have been retired a couple years back on plan I had. But I was shit down.
I'm gonna watch
All I
these.
ever asked
Hold on.
was you to keep you.
I'll be here. We've watched the 20-minute one. We're on the 445 one. You guys got me till all these are gone. And then tomorrow I'm going to come back and we're going to go over the second part of when Andy came on, which is extremely interesting. That's when they start, well, remember this friend and you did this in front of that friend. And remember when you was all cool with me and I was sticking your head out the window in front of your boss and there was a boss's daughter involved. You know, the boss that would lie for him that Jody Sue said in the past, even though he was on camera. Because that's another fucking weird ass statement to say. The boss would lie for him, they're friends. Well, apparently now he was fucking the boss's daughter. Yeah. Jody says that in all this. Let's go.
Is yourself and be a better parent. Wasn't asking much. Not to be doing fuck shit. Wasn't hard to get along with, and you know that. Holding you accountable wasn't hurting you. It was just holding you accountable.
You know what?
You felt ways about it.
Andy for 2 years went on saying she was extremely hard to get along with, and all he tried to do was leave her. Right? Then he comes in my chat and says, no, she wasn't hard to get along with. He just hit her. Right? But you hear Sharfie and a lot of all the other neighbors say, fuck that bitch. So I'm going to go with the majority and say you was hard to get along with. I mean, even your own family saying you ain't close and you're hard to get along with, and they had to move to get away from you. So,
It's not a problem. See, Andy, when you're done this way by someone like you for 3 fucking decades, you don't move on, Andy. I move through. I heal.
no, you stay, right? He's such a disaster and threat to you and your children that you stay and you allow your children to be abused and you keep them in that situation by your choice. I get it. Domestic violence, women have that trauma bond or whatever. And I get that. I've lived it. I've watched my mom do it. And let me tell you something. When my mom passed away, I didn't like her because she did that. And one day your children will probably feel, in my opinion, the same way. Okay? I didn't like that men came in my mom's house and abused her and us in front of her, us, other kids. So that's not something you would want as a good parent for your children. So don't get on here and act like you're fucking mother of the year, because in my opinion, you are furthest from. And I really don't give a fuck.
But every day I get to look at the scars you left on my face.
All the shit you say about me. If he left scars on your face, you should have left him. You let your kids sit there and watch it over and over and over and over and over again for 30 years, starting when you were 11, way years prior to you having your children after your mom sold you to him, right? What's a lie? What's not a lie, Jody? Because you changed the story on it. Do you see how many lies you tell? That's why yins are in this hole you're in. If you ain't guilty, you, just like Fred, had a big ass hand in making all 3 of you look guilty. In my opinion.
And feel them on my head. And look down at my chest and see them. You're in my nightmares. You're in my real life. Every fucking day.
Because you dwell. Get out of that fucking box.
And I've still had to deal with you and your fuck shit for years. Years.
That one's done. Like, I know I sound like I'm coming off harsh, but here's the thing. We have been dealing with this from Jody Sue Brown for years. She's the one, and I did feel bad for a long time that they sat up there and talked about the SEX stuff and Andy's ding dong, right? Like, I really did feel bad about that. But then I had gone back and listened to a bunch of Jody's old videos, and she did the same thing. Probably 6 more hours than what Andy did on videos before Andy was ever public. She was the one talking about his ding dong. That's why they spoke about it. Nobody would know about that. And Piper wouldn't even know to ask him about that if you didn't mention it, right? Remember your sister, you had to send pictures to your sister, the nurse, who's actually a real estate agent, but she had to give a lot of people thyroid medicine and all this medicine. She said it on things. So I'm really confused. What the fuck does she do for a living? Who really gives a fuck? She, in my opinion, and I'm allowed to have an opinion, she's just as fucking crooked as you are. However, let's move on. We're on a 7-minute video.
You don't have any parental rights, actually.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this. Now she has something in place. If this was the case, you wouldn't have had to go to court to get a protection of order. So, again, this is another instance where you lie and it's a clear indication that you're a liar. Please understand that, because you wouldn't have needed a protection of from order of him if this were true.
You don't have any parental rights, actually. And things you don't know that I could have enacted in court, but didn't because I was nice. And I didn't
Okay, wait a minute.
want to give my hand away.
She could have enacted these things in court, but didn't because she was nice. However, the parents were outside trying to run her over, and the judge in Lawson and everybody was crooked and sided with her. But she had these things that she could enact in court. You're a fucking liar. And this proves that. Show us what you could have fucking enacted in court, Jody Sue. You know what? Not that it really even matters, except for that it shows your character when it comes to Summer's case. Liar.
There's no way you could have ever touched her anyway. But that shit was all done when you were gone in jail a very long time.
Moon.
You nor anyone else on earth knows about it besides our lawyers.
Like clear proof she's a liar.
And I will tell you that it hurts Little a lot that she watches you care for two kids you saw replaced with the same birthdays as them. Ain't that weird?
Yeah.
That you and Becca.
He went out to find a girlfriend that has kids with the same birthday as your kids on purpose. What did he do? Look at birth certificates? Was he flipping through the hospital records to see which girl had kids with the same birthdays as the histrionics? Man, I'm telling you, the dates. Does she know that if you look that up, that that's actually a psychosis? To do that, to constantly dwell on dates the way she does. Something ain't right with this.
It take from her mouth that you do things that hurt her brother. And the recordings and things she put out.
It don't hurt her brother. Her brother's still up Andy's ass. He's not up yours. And he's been since he moved in with your sister, Mark.
You drive around, you do all this shit. And she may not want nothing to do with you, but she questions why you don't support her anyway.
And that should be told to him privately, not to Summer's audience.
You thought you destroyed him before you left the house. You were so mad. Especially her, she wouldn't even talk to you anymore. You know that, and I know that. And you'd scream at her.
Long interrogations.
Last days, you did torment her with food just like your mom. And you know I ain't lying. Remember that Italiano's.
And that's another thing, too. Anybody who has seen pictures of Jody Sue's daughter knows that her daughter is overweight. You hear, and I don't mean that rudely, my daughter's overweight. I'm fucking overweight. I don't mean that rudely, but Jody Sue says that all the time, and she says that they did it with her son with Jell-O cups, and they had to throw him around the truck to drive him over to her house, and like there's all kinds of shit this bitch has said when it comes to Summer's case. Tons of shit, okay? This is a bother to me that she would put this out This is abuse to your daughter, Jody Sue. You are putting out her public information. You are body shaming her yourself. Do you understand that? That's not for public consumption. I would not do that to my child. I don't think most mothers would. That is not for YouTube. That is not for Facebook. That is for your private conversations between you and Andy, between you and Andy's family, between you and your family, and maybe between, not maybe, definitely between you and a fucking psychologist so you can move the fuck on and get the fuck out of that box of yours.
Well, we took the kids there even though I didn't want to. But so I could have a break from the helicopters and the searchers and a night of sleep. And I was afraid of her artwork and everything because it was going, she just kept throwing up.
Oh, what? While her mother was scaring her to death, getting out of the house, fighting with her dad, scrambling around in the woods in the middle of the fucking night to keep her protected. While you're going on YouTube and saying, it was my daughter they wanted. Does anybody remember? Please tell me that you people remember how Jody Sue was constantly saying the kidnapper wanted her daughter. It was a constant comparison between her daughter, peeping Tom's looking through her window. They wanted her daughter. Jackie Dobbs is looking through her window. Like, to be honest with you, it seems a little excessive. Everybody wanted her daughter. That is sick fucking thinking. Why do you think like that? Just like everybody wanted you. There was 100 tree trimmers around. They all dropped their pens, so you would have to bend down and pick up every single 100 tree trimmers fucking pens. Dude. Exaggeration station.
But we took them out for a break from all that. Andy, you always have the choice if you want something sent to her, or you want to make sure the support is spent on her.
Here's how you can get me money, Andy, so that your wife don't know. Just give it to our son, and he can spend it on our daughter. I need money, Andy. It's about the money. Hey, did anybody see how she showed us how to put a Cash App up in this same live?
All you gotta do is give it to eldest. Duh. No court's necessary.
Why would he do that? Why would any father who was in a toxic relationship that can't see their daughter not want their child support put on documented paper? Why would you want it where it's not? Why? So Social Security and welfare don't know about it, Jody? Because we know you're sitting there with no fucking income, not reporting your fucking YouTube income, getting fucking food stamps. You done already told us you live on fucking Social Security. I can guarantee you don't fucking report any extra income you have. So tell us again why you want Andy to secretly send your daughter money. Just like the $800 he got that he had to send back to the sub that sent it to him by mistake. Or no, it was his paycheck. He sent it to somebody by mistake. And he needed it back because you were using his fucking Cash App, right? Remember that? Hey, that kind of reminds me of Shay using Demon Lurch's Cash App. Yeah. Yes, Sarah, her channel is monetized.
You'll be happy to know that little does enjoy the gas pedal. She's refused to let me send even the video anywhere. I'd love to show you pictures of her first driving and all that. She has a love for classics and speed.
And
Oh,
then
God.
she does this to torment him publicly. You just told us this week you've spoken to him on the phone. You've sent him messages. You are in communication. These are the type of things that should be told to Andy privately. Do you understand that? And when you say this isn't about Summer's case, you're also on here stating that this can protect Summer's case. It's because of Summer's case. So don't tell me it's about your relation. Listen, here's the situation. I don't give a fuck. a whole fuck about you or Andy's relationship. You're not missing. Just like when I backstabbed somebody a couple weeks ago to bring out text messages between us that started this whole fucking conundrum, right? It's just like that. I'm not here for any person who's not missing. For any person that has dabbled in dealing drugs, I understand that probably 99% of them people ain't guilty. I state that all the time. But I'm not here for those people. And that includes you, Jody. I'm here because I cover the case of Summer Moon Utah Wells. You have made yourself a presence in her case since day one. There was never not a time that you were not public. Do you understand that? From day one. I'm here to cover Summer. You happen to involve yourself, insert yourself, intimidate people on here, threaten to hunt me. So I'm going to cover you. Because in my opinion, I'm speculating, I find you sus as a motherfucker. Okay? Just because of the games you played with the courts, with Athy and Linda. You know, because you didn't know her prior to Summer go missing. Oh, but all of a sudden in this live, you knew her. Andy was trying to fuck her daughter or her friend or some shit. We'll listen.
You should have seen her open this fucking amazing $120,000 car at the car lot the other day.
Now her daughter's driving a $120,000 car. Hey, anybody remember when Ziggy said they had access to very expensive cars? Just a thought I had when I heard her say that.
No, he's not. But he is the most important thing to her besides me and her work.
Yeah, that's a
And
mom.
you and I both know that.
Listen, her children were born. That was a more recent around the Washington, D.C. time video. Innocent. But she cares so much about being a good mom. She, as an adult with children, are telling people to chase people in the woods. Because she cares so much about herself and being here for her children. Or even the safety of her children, because if you're chasing people in the woods, aren't you putting your daughter at risk? Maybe it was your daughter that was supposed to go and not Summer. That's a thought. I'd be pissed if people were chasing me in the fucking woods. Who was that video intended for, Jody Sue? I keep asking. Are you going to answer? Who did you want to see that video? Name the people.
He's trustworthy, and he would make sure it's spent on her in case that's your qualm. But still his little sister. And even he would like for you to man up and help support her. Though even he's like,
Take him to court.
motherfucker's never gonna.
Take him to
True
court.
story.
You could take him to court, Jody Sue. They have child support court. You don't even have to fight him. You don't have to get on here and complain that he's not paying child support. You can take him to court. Do you understand that? Andy, you're shit. You are shit for the fact that you don't support your children. I agree with Jody, since she's putting it out on the streets. You're a dickhead for publicly supporting somebody else's children and not your own, especially when you have a teenager. Do you know anything about cerebellum? You should probably fucking look it up, because at the age that you left and all this shit happened and Jody's running around in the woods like a fucking weirdo, yins are destroying that little girl's brain, in my opinion. It's weirdo shit coming from the fucking both of you. You're both shit parents, in my opinion. And again, I'm allowed to my opinion because you do this publicly. You are displaying your shitty parent behavior publicly. The both of you. Crazy, guys.
But you'd be happy to know. Little gas pedal thing she did when she was a baby. Hit the video. Oh boy. I think she's inherited the need for speed.
Tell them in a private message or phone call.
And boy, that terrifies me.
All of us parents go through that. You're not the only mom on this earth. And you're not the only mom that claims to love their children.
Today, as a matter of fact,
You're not a better
how to
mother than
loosen
anything else
chains
out
and
there.
rust and different things and mechanical stuff. And
Actually, Jody, you're a monster.
she's just definitely a car person.
And you're definitely a monster person.
If little
No, Julie.
agrees.
No. She says she was meeting the Black Lives Matter people. That's why I want to know who them videos were intended for. And that her and the Black Lives Matter people were going to go chase the KKK in the woods. I live in a city in a ghetto. I have a black husband, a black daughter. I have cousins that are in the KKK that have sitting in the same room as my husband. Okay? It's a brotherhood. Listen. No fucking black person is going to go chase the fucking KKK in the woods. Did y'all ever, who's that black guy? What's his name on CNN? Afro. He actually goes and meets with the KKK and he says he doesn't know a black person that would purposely go looking for the fucking KKK in the woods. Not a single fucking one. Okay? So her story is a fucking lie. It's a lie. Just like all of her fucking stories. Jumping in and out of creeks, summer scent. Fuck out of here, you fucking dumb bitch, in my opinion.
To giving you copies of pictures of them.
Listen, as a good mother, as a mother, you don't need your daughter's permission to sneak a picture of your daughter to her father. You know why Jody doesn't take Andy to court for child support? Because when a man pays child support, they have rights to see the child. They have rights to make plans for the child. That's why Jody's never taken him for child support. Andy, you could have easily gone to court and said, I want to pay child support, so that it was documented. You could get money orders, checks, hell, even Cash App has a list of what you spend. There's no excuse for you not to send nothing, no support for your child. And I'm going to comment on it because you talk about it. Okay?
I'll do so. If little does not agree, then I will not. I know that she's dead set against any new photos of her being sent to you. But I will tell you that Little's built like her mama. And like the other day, I don't know if you caught it or not, but she did stand up and speak for you. Fight back against Ziggy and Fred and the lies they're telling about you.
I wouldn't
Being
say
on the road.
that. You know what? That was abuse. Again,
Because even she'll do what's right.
she needs to tell the police that, not YouTube, and that you didn't have a right to bring her to YouTube again.
Uh-huh. And she never ever said that you had Summer's body or seen Summer's body. She just said
Yeah,
what you literally did and said to all of us
okay.
in the cabin. That was it.
We're going to listen to that again. I'm not saying that's what she said. That's not what she said. I agree with Jody Sue. However, the story's fishy because she said it was in the cabin. And no, that's not what the daughter said. The daughter said I was walking to the cabin and they were all fighting. Boog told him to leave and shut up. I just played it not long ago. Do you understand all the shit these people are commenting on is shit that I've brought out? I seem to be a whole ass wrecking ball, don't I? Because you are all liars. When you fuck with somebody's real life and start sending lawsuits and court hearings and things like that, and you fucked around and found out with the wrong person, you fucked around and found out. I'm not scared of them lawsuits. You can't get blood from a fucking stone. I ain't got nothing to get. All they'll do is put a lien on my house. They won't even take my husband's wages. I looked into it. You know that? Guess what? Then people got to pay their attorney regardless. So have fun.
But I know they feed it to you the other way. And
Yeah, very
you
strange,
know,
Chris.
they
I
got
didn't
everything twisted and fed to you so fucked up.
listen. I was getting way ahead of myself because everything's moving. They're all talking, right? And it's been going on. Like I can't even, with my grandkids running around Christmas, the holidays, I haven't even been able to sit and listen to a whole live in a while. So I finally had the chance last night after the babies fell. We're snowed in. Well, not now, but we were snowed in, you know? So after the babies fell asleep and we were warm and cozy, and my son brought me Canadian coffee. At least I think it's Canadian. Tom, I forget the name of it. But we had some hot cocoa and coffee, and I was able to sit down last night and listen to this bullshit. And that's exactly what it is bullshit, and it's fake. It's fake. I have to agree with Ziggy. I think Jody Sue is making all this up. And by the way, Ziggy, please get your fucking protection of abuse for me, because how the fuck am I abusing you? Because I'm doing the same thing to you I'm doing to Jody. I think you're all fucking liars. I think you're all crooked. I'm allowed to think that. Because based off of the things that you do publicly, I'm allowed to have an opinion. I'm allowed to speculate. And Jody Sue, guess what? I'm even allowing you to entertain me. Do you understand that? In my real life, people like you don't entertain me. I'm a bitch for real. I could probably be the nicest bitch you'll ever see, but I don't back down from people. I'm not scared of you. And quite frankly, I'm sick of your fucking scare tactics. Okay? We got a couple seconds left.
And they do it to keep us pissed when I.
Nah, you put your shit on display. My fucking joint, this weed I got from the dispensary last week does not stay lit. They don't do nothing to keep yins fighting. You keep you fight. Do you remember? Listen, look, we're going to take a break from this just for a minute. That was the third one. Let's go to projects. We'll just stick your fucking name in there. Folders. Let's see. Oh, Here we go. These are the ones where she talks about the drugs at work. These
But
are 2021 in the summer still, when Summer went missing. Right after, well, like fall, September, she was just kicked out of Andy's place. She was just evicted.
now knowing what I do, the things I've heard, things I've seen, is this last cycle went on with fucking Andy. And I've wondered for a few years now, since the worst of his shit's picked up, and as it's gotten more violent and crazy, knowing these last, it was do or die for us. And I don't care what anybody wants to believe, this wasn't baby bit or mama, anything else. This was where do we place in the cycle, the patterns I have to play. It was everything to figure out if this source, if this newest supply was good enough to leave. And it was. But during that time, we had to figure out where we were. And he can tell everybody he was done and said, blah, blah, whatever, right? That was not the case. It's what it is every time. Comes to me and says, no, I just need time. But in front of everybody else, I'm done. This is confusing shit.
I'm going to run to the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back.
And you have to play the game, right? You always have to play a fucking game. But knowing those last days, here he was, this bag of meth, telling me there's coke in the fucking bay at work, hearing his nose doing what it was doing, seeing how crazy he was fucking getting and acting, the weight loss for the last couple of years, and at the beginning of that cycle, a couple of years ago, all of a sudden the same hint drops because Andy could never not tell on his fucking self or give himself away. Just like, oh, the BP lady's fucking having a baby, and oh, like I give a shit who mentions that, and oh, well, I know somebody that has a kid that needs this movie, and always giving his fucking stuff away, dude. And June this, and I've been trying to whatever since, and I need to quit my job, and you'll see it'll ruin our lives if you don't let me. Basically telling me he got too close to a piece of pussy, and if I didn't let him get away from her, then it was going to do whatever, right? Because he thought he could slip away from her that way and life could continue and he could be, and I would stay, like I know. But now, and for all these years I tried to take from everybody in town, it's like, man, is he on that stem fast? Because he lost so much weight, right? Because his fucking fat ass would sit on me all them years and beat on me. And the more weight loss, it was, it was harder for him to do, but kept telling everybody no, no, no. And then lately, man, he was just looking like shit. Like fucking shit and acting crazier. And the more that was happening, the more trips he was making over there to Dawn to see him. And there was this whole thing, and he had to hurry up and get there. And now I wonder, I told everybody now, I was like, no, he's not a stem fast. He's not on meth or nothing. But man, maybe he was smoking fucking, not notice. Not to be able to tell because he was on fucking pills and shit too from his mom and everybody else, dude. And I kept begging for them to fucking stop. Because what little empathy that motherfucker did have didn't need to be fucking taken. And nobody listened to me like nobody ever fucking does until, right? But now I wonder. And it plays back into me like, you watch these men. You watch fucking abuse. You see it. You experience it up fucking close. See the fucking tricks and the dirty shit they can pull, and man, the regular public, they have no fucking idea what these monsters can do. Kind of manipulation they're capable of. Greed is always at the center. Themselves, women and children last. Public faces versus faces at home. You watch as they go on 3 and 4 day, week-long supply they've got. And you're trapped in boxes. You have nowhere. You have nowhere to run. They won't take your male children. 1-800 numbers. Bullshit. They turn everybody around you into a flying fucking monkey. Your family, your friends, random ass people you don't even know at gas stations, at work.
The flying monkeys have always been her family. She has claimed her family has taken Andy's side every time. There was even a time that Andy lived with her parents while she went and cheated on him and moved in with a guy that she was protecting another child from. And he stabbed her or shot her. I think it was shot. Remember? We went over that not too long ago. Sarah, I have a ton. I have most of October, November, December, January of 2021 and 2022. I have a few of the videos Squall had up. I have a lot of Squall. I have a lot of surprise videos I surprise myself with because they're not in any order and I'm a mess and I lost a lot of stuff because of these lawsuits they keep putting against me. I keep quitting my channel. They keep striking me. Well, they were. It hasn't been going on the last 6 or 7 months. It's been pretty decent. There's a few. But I have shown a ton of these videos and I will continue to show them. Am I going to give them to anybody? No. Nope. But I'll show them when I feel the need. I feel like this was an important one. If you have them, look at the black and white ones. Those are important. Look at the drunk ones like the set we're looking at right here. I mean, these ones are important. Here we go. Jody Sue, you didn't put it out there that he beat you. You didn't put this is how he even said, I didn't come out here she said this in this live. I didn't come out here to attack you. I come out here to talk about domestic violence. I don't want them to use our stuff against us. However, she didn't even talk about Summer. Listen, until like the marathon. She barely talked about Summer being missing. Almost every single one of her lives was about bashing Andy.
And here is a small thing, and I know I put it in another video, but I know that I have that video on another memory card. And I have not posted that video.
She's been playing these same games. She's doing the same thing
even
today.
up until
I have all the videos.
wrestling.
I have a good majority of the videos during marathon time. That's what I have because that's what I was looking into. I don't know. This shit is crazy. Let's go back to her shit last night. This we can look at anytime. All right. We are on the 1:35 one. We got a couple short ones here.
You're in Becca's, and you've let her do this shit to us. You should have never done that, or let her do that. Little you knew. You know me. I would never in a million years hurt these children in any way. Never in.
You're hurting them right now, Jody Sue. However, I seriously think she's correct. I don't understand. I have never in my life, even fathers that don't like their children, I have never in my life seen them come out and hand recordings of their own children to people to put on YouTube to prove the ex-baby mama a bitter person. I think it's disgusting what Andy did. And I think just like all these lies show Jody Sue's character, it shows Andy's character. I think maybe it's a possibility because I theorize and I just throw out theories all the time. I don't commit to one theory because there's a million things that could have happened this summer. But here's what I see: a woman that's protecting a man because she knows what happened. Just saying. That's my opinion.
You're in Becca's, and you've let her do this shit to us. You should have never done that, or let her do that. Little you knew. You know me.
And Jody, you big as fuck, dude. Go beat that bitch's ass for real. Because that's what I would do. In all God's honesty. Somebody fucked with my kid like that and did this whole let's buy a wedding and this, that, and the other. I don't know that she would be recognizable. And that's honest. Take me to court or whatever. If Earl, so help me God, we break up, you get a girlfriend, and she starts doing that shit to our daughter, what do you think would happen? Something bad? Like, the fact that you don't do nothing or press charges on her even, it worries me.
I would never in a million years hurt these children in any way. Never, Andy. And you know it. You knew that was all bullshit built.
But here's the thing, Pink Moon. She creates her hell. Like, I get it. She's been through hell. She's traumatized. I get it. However, Andy's been in jail. She's been in jail. She has left him. She's left him and she was injured, almost unalived, by another man. And she went back to Andy. Do you understand that? Her family hosted Andy while all of that went down. I have the videos. I've showed them. We'll show them again. They're in that set of videos that I just showed. She has had ample opportunities to leave him. When all of this started, Chase, Penny, all of them were telling her, we'll take you to the DV center. We'll do this. We'll do that. She's on here telling these people that her son is like a baby, like he's way underage. Dude's like fucking 19, 20 years old, right? Oh no, I can't go to the shelter. I got to go to a hotel and you got to pay for it because no shelter will take my son, which by the way is on Andy's side right now. Even though she forced him 6 weeks after, she had her protection of order to go get a protection of order when he really didn't want to. I have the videos. It doesn't make sense. You got chicken on a stick coming out. She's showing pictures saying Andy did this to me, Andy did that to me. Chicken on a stick saying, no, that's from a car wreck. Anybody remember that? What's truth, what's not? They all fucking lie.
You knew, and I can prove it, that you all knew when you were part of that effort to try to drive me to suicide, that they were planning for days in advance with Piper and them and Jenny and Adrian numbered them posts trying to get little. Did you know there's fucking recordings of people on to testify against Jenny? She wanted little for her witness testimony.
This. Somebody better fucking answer to. Does anybody know what she's talking about? Please listen. Listen carefully. No chatting for a minute, please.
Bill, you knew, and I can prove it, that you all knew when you were part of that effort to try to drive me to suicide, that they were planning for days in advance with Piper and them and Jenny and Adrian, number of them, posts, trying to get little. Did you know there's fucking recordings of people willing to testify against Jenny? No, there's fucking recordings of people willing to testify against Jenny. Did you know there's fucking recordings of people willing to testify against Jenny? She wanted little for her witness testimony, Andy. She wanted you to get her so that she could have her. So this group could have her and access to her for summer content. Those recordings you released and put out on purpose of our son and the papers you give to that fraud ass.
Yes, Sarah. However, she does what she does best, and she takes two scenarios and she mixes them together. There are locals here that have recordings that want to testify against Jenny in court as if somebody pressed charges. I want you all to keep in mind car chases and this, that, and the other that was going on while they were all down there, because that's what that takes my mind to. To me, it seems like she's talking about two situations in one sentence, and Jody Sue is really good at doing that.
This bitch of McDonald's. And by the way, my best advice to you is stay as far away from that motherfucker as possible.
More accusations against McDonough. Okay.
You are not Summer's monster. You didn't do shit to Summer. Said that a million times. If I thought you did anything to Sloan, I'd been the first to turn you the fuck in. And you damn well know it. You know I was a ride or die, but I ain't that type of ride or die. I never was. You know I was like, the fuck we going? Where we going? Fuck we doing?
But wait, she was scared of him and he was abusing her, but she was his ride or die. She couldn't wait to get away from him. She was so miserable. She hid in other rooms, but she was his ride or die. Hey, anybody remember the video I showed where she said she used to beat men up for Andy? She had to protect him. I'll show it again one day.
Yeah, well, Andy, that's not because of me. I've always made it clear our domestic violence shit. Our domestic violence shit. Right? My channel was not created for someone. I hopped over here to hunt tragedy pimps. Did you miss that? Did you miss how pissed I was around their scamathon and shit? The real crime Scott and Penny and all them and their fake federal agent and fake bobos and reporters and all that shit I sussed out. We're doing
All that shit.
Andy, that's not because of me.
All that shit I sussed out. Is it all true, Jody? I see Linda in your box. Nobody can still to this day figure the Slay and Fustos shit out. I still to this day don't even know what Fustos' fucking part is. I just know that y'all say her name, and I looked her up, and she is actually a fucking cousin to my husband's best friend. Yeah. Fucking weird as shit. From my city. But now lives in Plano, Texas, like right where Benny just moved from. And by the way, my husband's best friend is from the same area, El Paso, actually. But yeah, he got family in Dallas. We fight about the Steelers and Cowboys all the time. Hi, Kelly. Rob? Demuth? Anybody want to look it up? He's a McKeesport cop, too. Yeah. Fucking weird. I don't fucking know. Just saying. Small world. All these motherfuckers from up here right in Pittsburgh. Hi, Trixie.
Yeah, well, Andy, that's not because of me. I've always made it clear our domestic violence shit. Our domestic violence shit. Right? My channel was not created for someone. I hopped over here to hunt tragedy pimps.
Oh, and I've already showed the pictures. Like, dude was my husband's best man in our wedding. I posted them once. Kind of when all the lawsuits started. At least Linda's. Fucking strange. Can somebody explain to me what part Fustos plays? Because I'm still lost as fuck.
Did you miss that? Did you miss how pissed I was around their scamathon of shit? The real crime Scott and Penny and all them and their fake federal agent and fake bobos and reporters and all that shit I sussed out were doing.
She
And I
said,
told them, by God, I was hunting them down. So I'd be starting a YouTube to hunt tragedy pimp pieces of shit. That's what my YouTube was created for. And to speak about domestic violence. And I have a right to. And I will. And I will do it to help other women and children. It won't ever be about you. And eventually, even if
it has always been about Andy. All you do is get on here and trash him. You are not being a support for any woman that is in a domestic violence situation. As a matter of fact, please, if you are in a domestic violence situation, do not follow Jody Sue's example. This is exactly what not to do. Okay? I think most women know that, and most women in a serious, where they were truly scared situation would not be doing this. They would be fearful for their lives. However, what you don't talk about is the guy that pew-pewed you, right? Let's talk about him. Are you scared of that guy? Because that would be a domestic violence situation.
I talk about my experience, it doesn't mean I'm spending my whole life on you or don't have a life outside of it.
Well, then let's talk about that guy. Get on here and tell the people about the real guy that abused you while you were trying to save a child. And I mean, go deep into detail. Because to me, it seems you're scared of that guy and not scared at all of Andy. That's my opinion, based on your behavior online.
You did what you did. I survived. I'm still surviving. But that doesn't mean everything I am or will be is about you or that I'm not moving through and healing. But it has been on pause and stasis because of the fuck shit I've had to combat. You're used as a great portion of distraction.
What have you had to combat? You put yourself in a situation, Jody, and I've been saying this for 3.5 years, and I even told you that when I was trying to be your friend. You put yourself in this situation by being online. It would all go away. People wouldn't talk about y'all. Andy probably wouldn't even be online if you weren't here. You come here, you bring it up, and you give people a reason, just like this, just like what you and Andy did yesterday, or the day before, to talk about it. You give us the reason to talk about it. You bring it on yourself. That is the God's honest truth, in my opinion. Okay, which one was that?
Yeah, well, Andy, that's not because of me.
Yeah, that one. It's because of both of y'all. All right, the last 5-minute one, and then I'll be back tomorrow or later or something.
All this shit's been making us the content because they didn't have enough summer. And because I'm telling you.
She's telling him again. She's sending him a narrative, in my opinion. And all of this is to make summer content while she gives us summer content. She knows this is going to get her views. She knows this is going to go viral. She has the wherewithal to message him and speak to him on the phone, as she just told us she's been doing these last couple days. There was no need to bring this to YouTube. You give us the content, Jody. You happily give us the content. You do it on purpose because it brings you attention, in my opinion.
Hell, I've done so, Andy. I did. So it's like that night with the fucking me using a big girl, right? In the chat, straighten it out. Your buddy chasing and all him twisted it back. Your buddy chasing did that to you with the sedate lead. Your buddy chasing. I clarified my shit on how weed has a sedative effect. La la la. Right? Clarified it before I even got off my own fucking live that night. Your buddy Chasing's who did that. Did you ever catch the Tiffany Marie live where Chasing literally is the one who did that to your ass and made it a thing around here and then pretended to be your buddy and crawled right up next to you? Just like her and Penny and Jenny.
Hold on, guys. We'll start that one over in just a minute.
Again, it's not for reasons to take out. But shit occurring around that time is why. He's responsible for it. From before Utah until. So you go ask him.
Run it through Wondershare, Tiffany. Put it on 60 frames per minute. It'll fix this.
I was selling drugs to those children. And Candace for the children. Go ask. And ask him what type other than weed.
And ask him what type other than weed. That's all I wanted to show. Ask him what type other than weed. All this shit's been making us the content because they didn't have enough summer. And because I'm telling you. Hell, I've done so, Andy. I did. So it's like that night with the fucking me using a big girl, right? In the chat. Straighten it out. Your buddy Chasing and all him twisted it back. Your buddy Chasing did that to you with the sedate lead. Your buddy Chasing. I clarified my shit on how weed has a sedative effect. La la la. Right? Clarified it before I even got off my own fucking live that night. Your buddy Chasing's who did that. Did you ever catch the Tiffany Marie live where Chasing literally is the one who did that to your ass and made it a thing around here and then pretended to be your buddy and crawled right up next to you? Just like her and Penny and Jenny and Adrian and the rest of them made the shit from the beginning. Shit that it wasn't Andy. To acquire you. Sorry, I was hitting my bowl, coughing. I had the mute on. Jody Sue, you and Andy both are grown-ass people. Nobody needs to acquire you. You come here on YouTube, Facebook, any other social media platform at your own free will. Nobody is holding a pew-pew to your head, okay? Nobody is making you come here. And if they are, then you need to call the police and not us, okay? Because what you're doing right now is full of shit. What you and Andy have done with just this little snippet, I'm not even going to go over the rest of the whole Ziggy shit because they're all shit, right? In my opinion, all four of them are shit. That's my opinion. They're all toxic shit. Every single fucking one of them. Okay? Nobody's acquiring you. You're here at your own free will. You have the right to leave YouTube. You have the right to turn all of these things you claim you have into the TBI, Lawson and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, the FBI. You stated you have had contact with all of them several times, even to the point that they have told you things that they wouldn't normally tell people. Okay? You also have the option to turn it into the Wills PIs. I wouldn't suggest that because you have the option and the communication with all of the other law official people that I think you should turn it into them, because on a TBI website it says contact 1-800-TBI-FIND. You, bitch, have demanded that I put out my emails with TBI, so much so that you guys had me in tears, crying. All of you, Benny, Tiffany, you, show it. You sent it to the TBI that I put the wrong address in, and then you drugged me for it for 2 years, even though immediately after, before you even called it out, a sub called it out. I posted the mistake and resent it that day and showed it. Not only did I show that, but within the last 6 or 7 months, I showed you that I got a reply back from them that same fucking day. Yet you still go on every couple weeks and say that I didn't send it to TBI. How about this, whore? How about if your stripper pool fucking fat ass shows us your communications with TBI? Because you know what? I don't think you've turned anything in. The whole fact that you didn't give them the SD cards from day one, in my opinion, based off of the things that you said about that, including Andy stole them, tells me you're a fucking liar. So how about if you get on here and show us your communications? Not like the actual communications, but like the fact that they were sent, or that you got something back saying that you sent all these things that you have. Because you're actually the only one that's never been really asked to prove anything. You only put out chopped up pieces of Discord with locals that you and your sister knew that was Sean's Gene. I mean, in this same live, you go on about Gene. Your sister talks about a Ralph, right? All the people you brought here. It's disgusting. You are fucking disgusting. And I don't feel pity for you. In my opinion, this made it worse for you.
All this shit was a setup, dude. And it was Candace and Dawn feeding us out to these people before we know. They used your mom's post on social media too. We were being hunted, and I have evidence of it. We were being stalked. We were being sought out.
Isn't that crazy? Right before this, she says, I'm hunting people. I'm hunting creators, but we're being hunted. You're here at your own free will, free willy. Okay, bitch?
We're being fed out by the lovely motherfuckers on Ben Hill. And there was a script being written, fact, try to make you or Fred look like it. Now, I want you to think about me saying that and go back to the McDonough interview. Go back to the scripts PG wrote for Dawn and them. Go back to Fred in the first couple days. He was coming down to the house, and he's the first one that talks about this old big bad hillbilly in the back and holler, taking off with another little girl. Looks like somebody remember that shit. Him talking about Dawn and a debt. He was the first one. Andy, there's something really fucking wrong here.
Based off of the things you, Andy, and Fred have said, and Dawn, it is my opinion that the four of you might have gone in on something that not a damn one of you could have paid for. Anybody ever thought of that? It ain't the three amigos, it's the 4 or 5 amigos. In my opinion. Why don't y'all quit blaming everybody on Light Hauler? All the people you're related to. And then you try to make people think that they're all the bad people. And I'm not saying that they're all good because I don't know. I know one. I speak to one person from that area. Everybody knows who that is. And she actually doesn't live there, but she has family there. We're definitely going to get that. I'm going to pull little pieces. We're not going to listen to it all. But I'm going to pull little pieces out of the other things that you and Ziggy have been talking about. Now, in my opinion, even with me being friends with Karen Renfro and her being very close to the people you people are speaking about, that Crystal Spencer's mom talked about, that Fred and Ziggy have been talking about, but not connecting together. Like, they talk about them like they're separate people and they never had nothing to do with them. As if Laura didn't fucking stay there when she got out of jail and she wasn't with some of them when she was arrested and they weren't. She stated that their car was a drug car. Do you remember that? She goes on Ziggy's panel from their home. How many of you knew that? Laura's 2 or 3 panel appearances after jail on Ziggy's was right from Glenda Head's house. Oh, yeah. Fred was mad. He started accusing Laura of sleeping with Brandon. And then, boom, Ziggy and Fred are married. Fuck you all. Jody Sue, Andy, Fred, Ziggy.
I need you to understand that there's some setup-y shit. There's some fuck shit between all these folks, and a whole lot of it, some of it is being infiltrated. Some of your folks and some of the bigger things from the way back in relations to all of us.
Tic Tac, I've covered a lot of it. Go back and look. I have covered a ton of Laura and Fred. And I'll do it again and again and again and again. I have like a video I have taken apart 60,000 times and I just show it ugly over and over again. I definitely have covered it. Please go look. Several times. I've actually been covering this for years. The same thing they're all talking about now. And you know what started all this? Was me releasing them text messages that shows that all of these people were connected in that big drug bust. Jody, Sue, Fred, Andy. I've shown their charges. I have caught Andy in lies in my chat and called them out in my chat while he was in there. This is why we are where we are today. Lawsuits. Try me. My court hearing is what, the 15th, 17th? I'm not going. I'm not quitting either, even when I lose.
They've been blackmailed and roped into certain shit, including some of them locals that are in the rooms following you and chasing and Jenny and Adrian around and are messing with your buddy Ryan and all that shit. And if you knew what was going on with cotton shit and everything else, then I could.
And that's something else I noticed too. See, you see Gavel. No, I don't know if this is truth, and Ellie and Six Up would have to answer for this, right? I've had conversations with Ellie where it concerns Andy and Gavel and that crew, Ryan. And I can tell you from my experience speaking with her, they didn't follow Gavel and Krama. Krama and Gavel landed in Six Up's chat out of nowhere, from what I seen. Now, Ryan was coming around when Ellie was coming around. And you know what I'll tell you? And she'll probably be mad at me, but I already put shit out. She was uncomfortable with that. She denied him access to their home. So, Jody, you're wrong.
Explain it to you and trust you enough. And I tell you, got one around you right now showing all your messages and shit and numbering your phone to others, and they're right across the road from your parents. Do you understand me? There's some real fuck shit, and you're being really fucked with even right now. And you have no clue. And I wish I could tell you all of it.
But you can. You can send him a message or you can call him on the phone just like you did prior to this live.
But I can't.
Dramatics. Oh, she's
But I don't want person or persons, Andy, to get away with this. And you know,
draw the narrative in. Make them believe it. Make the whole audience believe it. Maybe D Designs or Sage, maybe. Has Dee ever showed her face or spoken? I think Jody said tonight that nobody should stay hidden. Well, don't you think people like Enhanced and Dee and all the Lindas should show their faces?
how things can go, especially with purposeful mud, jello, and chaos. And you know as good as I do that's what's being done.
Yeah, by you.
I want somebody in shackles in a death chamber.
Me too. Sell it.
Summer didn't deserve to vanish. Whatever's happened to her. And you know all those motherfuckers on Ben Hill are sleeping just fine.
You know
Not
what's really funny is that Jody Sue has stated several times that she had been researching Dawn and Candace since Dawn went to Utah, way before Summer had gone missing. Has anybody caught on to that? Why? Jody? If you didn't know anything and you're just discovering the people on the road are so bad, but you already knew they were bad, that you were researching them. Hey, can you show me a statement or an email, or could you send one to the TBI that states that you were researching the wells way back in October so that they know that you were doing that? Because, well, actually, June, Dawn went to Utah in June. Yeah, he was gone a while. Way back in June of 2020. Let's just make sure that we know that you sent that to the TBI so that they know that you were stalking the wells way before, and that you had an inkling that something was going on. Because I think that they would want to know that, and that would be really detrimental to Summer's case. However, let's carry on.
I
Oh, that's another thing. She accuses people blackmail all the time. Well, she's blackmailed me, and I have that posted somewhere too, so y'all could go watch that.
want them found, Andy. Or at least enough evidence. Or the right people involved to cough it the fuck up.
Yeah, me too, Jody. Sell it.
And for years, I've had to deal with the semi distraction of you brought in on purpose by them and acquired on purpose by them. No shit, not gonna show by who.
Why? Why were they acquired on purpose by them? Could it be because of the video, the StemFast video I just showed that you were putting on Facebook and leaving public for people to see? Because we already know that you knew how to make some private, because all of the ones prior to those were private when Summer went missing, pretty much like that day. How did you have time to make like a million videos private in such a short span of time? Like, yeah, Squall got a couple videos, but all of your videos weren't there. Why is that? Why don't you make your Facebook public again? And why don't you unprivate every video you've ever made since the beginning of Facebook? What, 2008, 9? Yeah. You're so innocent and have nothing to hide. Might be a good idea.
Where, what, how it's went down in private communications they all think are private and everything else. You were hunted like a fucking animal, dude. So were we. And acquired.
No, Jody, you're hunting me like an animal. You're hunting every creator like an animal. You and Andy made yourself public. You made yourself known. You continue to make yourself, even when Dawn and Candace aren't known, you're still here. Huh? Dawn and Candace ain't been on in like a year. Aren't they having like marriage? I can't even catch up with Candace. Like, I can't even watch her shit because you're busy spewing shit. Like, you overshadow everything that's important in Summer's case every single day, in my opinion. It's actually quite absurd, insane a little bit. Go get a fucking straight jacket and some help. In my opinion, you need it. Amy, get your sister some fucking help. You said, oh, sadly. Yeah, our family's never been close. She's never really had nobody there. You still ain't there. Go get her fucking help. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow or later. I'm up. I slept. No, did I? No, I didn't. I'm going to bed. I got up early today because the kiddos were here. I'm done yelling. I'm very angry because this whole live, other than when Andy was on there, it was Ziggy built Crystal, Crystal this, Crystal that, Crystal this. Listen, let me fucking tell you something. How did Ziggy build me if Scott built me? How did Scott build me if Squall built me? How did Squall build me if Penny built me? Like, everybody has built me. I am not the fucking YouTube mob, Jody Sue. Okay? I'm glad you think that highly of me. No, I really am just a crazy bitch from Pittsburgh. Y'all called me crazy. That's exactly what the fuck I am. And that's exactly what I'm showing you. Crazy like a fox. You dumb bitch. All right, guys. Peace and love to the rest of you. I'll see you later.